All the way back in December of 2024, BeamNG teased us with what's to become a dedicated rally simulator. Despite being in early access game mode, it promised features like pace notes, mixed stages, and potential to be one of the best rally sims on the market. Fast forward to 2026, is BeamNG Rally any good? And can I, with the help of automation, engineer a car to survive these stages and complete them faster than BeamNG's own rally cars? Our competition for this video is the Hirochi Sunburst, an entry-level rally car with a turbocharged flat 4 making 214 horsepower and 217 foot-pounds of torque. It also has all-wheel drive as standard and a few suspension and cosmetic changes to set it apart from its base form. Let's go ahead and get in the driver's seat and see what kind of a time this thing can do. Alright guys, we're starting this video off in BeamNG's Rally Loop mode, because although we are trying to figure out how fast this car can get around a stage, I also want to know how easy is it to drive. Because knowing automation, we can build a faster car. We have access to building everything out of carbon fiber. We can give it a 1500 horsepower engine if we really wanted to. I don't think that's going to be the struggle of this video. I think the struggle is going to be building a car that can finish a stage in under 10 tries. Because if it takes us 3, 4, up to 10 attempts to get to the end of a stage in one piece, then I don't think we've succeeded in building a better car than the Hirochi Sunburst. It looks like we're just pulling up to the start line of the first stage, and just to, get my intentions out there, we're gonna keep this pretty chill. I want to keep this one take, really lean into the whole survivability part of, rally in general.
60, caution, 5 right short, narrows.
Okay, I know what I said about being chill, but this is a really fast stage. I can't help it.
6 right long tightens, over crest, 30.
To be fair, this car is fairly stable at high speeds. There are some mid-speed corners where the rear end really tries to get out, I've noticed.
100.
But other than that, oh yeah, and it does not land well.
Narrows.
Not at all.
Caution, 3 right long tightens.
Revs really high though. I do really like that.
3 left, tightens.
So far, not the torquiest engine though. I feel like unless you're really high in the rev range, it really does not want to pull you all that well. Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
3 left.
Like I said, pretty unstable in mid-speed corners. I think that's just a quirk of the car, or maybe I'm just bad at driving.
4 left short, 30.
Hard to say.
3 right opens, 30.
Try and cool it just a little bit here. A little bit of a tighter section.
Into 3 right short, and 4 left short, 40. 5 right short, 30. Caution, 5 left long, tightens. Into 1 left, into 1 right short, narrows, 100.
Coming in this little city section, real slow here. To be fair, these little bumps, it handles them pretty well, stays in the power quite nicely. These bumps I found really bad for the car. It does not take the big bumps well. I don't know really what that means for suspension. Maybe it could be a little softer. Help. Not quite certain, but we'll try and mess with that in our car.
3 right short, narrows.
We do want to make sure we have a pretty decent top speed for some of these, faster stages.
Don't cut. 30. 2 left opens. 50. 3 right long.
That is, if we do go for a more high-power car. Try and capitalize, find speed there.
Left, 60, 3 left long, tightens, 30, 2 right tightens, and 3 left opens, 30.
I can't say gearing-wise, even these tighter corners, I don't ever really use second. Lowest I ever go, unless it's real slow, is third gear.
6 left short, 40, 3 right opens, don't cut, and 4 left short, 30, 6 right short, 30, 4 right opens.
Maybe low end torque would be really nice to have on our car.
Over finish, 30. 5 right.
There we are.
Stop and stop control.
Okay, I'll admit, the last half of that stage, quite messy, but that's just part of the nature of this car. Really squirrely if you don't enter the corner just right. If you don't load up the weight on the front tires, it'll get you. But I think that's just something we got to keep in mind when we get to automation. Get a car with good suspension that can handle those big bumps. Something with a lot of low end torque, kind of pull you out of slow corners, and just hopefully make it handle decent. So I will go ahead and see you guys when we reach the next stage. I realize I'm not too great at multitasking, so I kind of broke the suspension a little bit on that last one. I got the car fixed up, and so I think for this stage, I might just go on mute a little bit and just try and send it, really see what this car can do. And so I will go ahead and cut that up for you guys to see.
6 right short, 40, 6 left short, and 5 right short, 100, 6 left, 80, 5 right, 100, 3 left short, and 3 right, narrows, and 5 left, 70, 6 right short, 90, 6 left short, 30, 1 right long, opens, 30, 4 right short, 2 left short, and 2 right short, 5 left short, 50, 6 left short, 60, 3 left short, 30, 3 left, 30, 4 right short, 60, 6 left short, 60, 5 right extra long tightens, 40, 3 left, 30, 3 left, opens, 30, 6 left, over crest, right short, 70, open hairpin left, and 3 right, 30,
Moving on to automation, the car that we're going to be working on for this challenge is this, what I call the G5i, a 2010s German sports sedan with a 3.2-liter inline-six mated up to a 5-speed manual transmission. It too is equipped with an all-wheel drive system, but lacks many performance modifications due to it being just a base model. With the right budget, this should serve as the perfect platform to develop into an amateur rally car. I figured before we start ripping all the parts off this car and replacing them with more performance-oriented parts, I wanted to take a second and just talk about what the philosophy was with this kind of a build. Aforementioned, it's supposed to be a more base model German sports sedan, where the front end took a little bit of inspiration from BMW and Alfa Romeo. And the rear end, I tried to just be original, have fixtures follow body lines and generally look aesthetic. But it does kind of look like a mix between a Mercedes and BMW, which really just fits the build pretty well. The interior otherwise does as well. It's got a lot of cheap plastics with an attempt to look like a base model, but it's still German, so you get leather seats. Other than that, there's not really much to say about this. Moving under the hood, as mentioned, this car is a 3.2-liter inline-six. However, it is very humbly tuned with a single overhead cam, all cast internals, and very humble top-end figures. But that was by design. It only has 200 horsepower and 206 foot-pounds of torque, which I did aim to have less than what the Hirochi Sunburst is making, and I wanted to make up for that power by copying its formula and adding a turbocharger. However, even with a small turbo and a low PSI figure of somewhere around 11, it shoots way up to 330 horsepower, which my goal was to have around 270 to 300, but I think just going based off of real-life power figures of what these German sports sedans make, I think 350 is very controllable and an all-wheel drive, large sedan. And so I think I'm just going to go for it anyway, and I will see you guys when all of that is done. Alright, and then not to overdo it, I'm stopping at 360 horsepower. I think, this torque curve and power curve looks pretty natural for a big turbo engine, even though it's not a really big turbo, but again, I'm happy with this. I don't want to be too overzealous with the power numbers, and so we'll move on to everything else with this car. Moving on to the drivetrain here, there's only a few changes I want to make. For one, just add an extra gear and lower the spread a little bit, just to hopefully keep the engine in peak power more easily. And of course, add an electric LSD, because this is more meant to be an OEM plus build, almost like a higher trim level of, the G5. And I very much see a German brand in the 2010s adding an electric LSD. Moving on to the wheels, we are going to actually keep it on mediums, just because, a lot of these stages in BeamNG are, asphalt, and I really don't think moving to, the dedicated rally tires just export well to BeamNG. I don't think it's something I'm really going to notice much of a difference on. So I'll probably just leave it at medium, and I will probably come back to the tires later. Brakes, absolutely add more pistons, make them bigger, and get more performance-oriented pads. I think that should be fine here. Moving on to aerodynamics, we will come back to that when I change the design of everything. Moving on to the interior, I really don't want to change anything just because I really like the way the interior in my car looks. And also, if this isn't like a full-blown dedicated race car, it's more just like a rally-specific trim model, I really don't think they're going to just take the back seats out of this thing. So we'll move on from that. When it comes to steering, I think we're going to move to electric variable. Otherwise, everything else is going to be the same. Very standard stuff for 2010s. And suspension is going to be the big one here. From what I know, a good rally preset in BeamNG and automation is to keep the springs and height on the comfort preset here, and the dampers and sway bars on the race preset. Otherwise, this is probably going to take a lot of just trial and error, exporting cars, seeing how it feels, coming back, doing it again. And so I will go ahead and spare you from that, and I will see you when we get to the design. And now, coming full circle with the design, if we're really trying to do some kind of an OEM plus thing, I really don't think there's a lot we need to cover. Maybe just change some of the fixtures on the front and rear and add a few rally-specific modifications, maybe fog lights or mud flaps, but really not too much we need to cover here. At this point, if you're familiar with the channel, I really think the design aspect of automation is where I typically fare the strongest, but I just could not find a good balance between a crazy rally car and something an OEM manufacturer would realistically produce. Like, I decided to find a compromise that didn't have crazy fog lights and a big boxy wing, but I also think there are a few aero parts that I don't think a German manufacturer would put on a car like this and actually sell to the public. And so I'm not entirely happy with the way this build turned out. But I do know I'm excited to see how this thing drives in BeamNG, so go ahead and get that exported, and see you back in that rally loop mode. Alright, well, here we are back in Beam, and I know you just saw this car 10 seconds ago, but there's already a few differences. For one, overnight, all of my interior mods just decided to completely fail on me. So I leaned into the whole rally thing, went very minimalistic, just threw in some buckets, threw in a digital tack, called it a day. Also, in my testing, just to make sure the suspension handled all right, I found that I was shifting a lot, and it did not make any sense for me to have a manual in this car. So I swapped it out for a 6-speed sequential, and so I should hopefully, be able to accelerate a lot quicker, handle a little bit better. And I'm excited to see what kind of time this thing can do. I will also be doing this on the bonnet cam, just because on these bumpy surfaces, when you get up really quick, all the fixtures on the interior just start vibrating. And I just imagine it being quite hard to watch.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 6 left short, into 6 right short, 60.
I also found this car really likes to understeer if you head into these corners too quick. So I gotta be very mindful of my speed. Even right there, I did not think I was going that fast, but it just carried me all the way out to that guardrail. Now I wouldn't end up like that on some of these faster sections. So I might be leaving a lot of time on the table, but that's just what you gotta do with this kind of a car.
Caution, 5 right short, narrows.
Well, here we can pick up some speed. Already well over 100 miles an hour. Over this bump here, really likes to carry speed just because we're not putting all of our weight on the ground.
Caution, over jump, 70, 6 left. Don't cut. 100.
I'm actually really going to listen to these cautions here.
Four
She
left.
landed a lot better than
Narrows.
Sunburst did. Pretty
150.
happy about that one.
Caution. 3 right long tightens. 40.
This just is not the kind of car you can go 10/10s with on a rally stage. It's becoming very apparent.
Tightens.
Yep, already there. I'm just going 45 and it carries me all the way out to the end. Gotta be very careful about the speed.
3 left. 40.
Already
4 left
tapping
short.
the wall there.
3 right tightens.
Our
30.
first split. I don't remember what the Sunburst did, but I'll do a little comparison at the end here.
30. 2 left short
I can just say, ease of driving, it actually does
3 right
handle
short,
particularly
and 4 left short. 40.
particularly well.
5 right short.
It's just that it is so much faster, got a lot more power, and it's just really hard to handle on these tight courses.
1 right short. Narrows. 100. Bumpy.
Okay, bumpy here. We'll see how the suspension does on this little section.
4 left short.
Immediately,
4 right
it's
short,
handling it
narrows,
really well. You
150.
don't even notice.
Square left.
You did
into
notice
2 right
pretty
short.
well
200.
Sunburst. I wasn't full on the power there, but handled those big bumps pretty well. Go ahead and get some power down.
6
See
left.
how fast the thing can go here.
70. 6 left long. Over crest. 100.
Already over 100.
Caution. 3 right short.
I am going to cool it
Narrows.
just because
Into 3
I
left.
really don't want to do
Caution.
another take of this.
6 right. 30.
Catch it, catch
2
it.
right. Don't cut.
Oh, man.
30.
Okay, hopefully we didn't lose too much time there.
50.
Yeah, she is pretty unstable if you catch it
60.
with the weight distribution at the wrong time. Really impacting my ability to
60.
talk here.
3 left long. Tightens. 30.
Just full focus. The
2
road
right
ahead of me.
tightens. And 3 left opens. 30.
Finding even
3
trail
right.
braking with this
Don't
thing is
cut.
just difficult
Into
to
6 left short. 40.
figure out how to
3
do.
right opens. Don't cut. And 4 left
I'm not
short.
used to
30. 6 right
how
short. 30.
little the brakes are actually doing for this car. Case in point.
4 right
However,
opens.
it still drives.
30. 2 left short. Opens.
Not over till it's over.
Over finish. 30.
Finish is right there. No, come on. Come on. We might have to... Oh,
Good job.
goodness.
Stop at stop control.
Yeah, we might have to look a little bit deeper into those splits to see how this car did. It was real messy at the end there. Okay, initial feedback of this car is it's got a lot of power, it puts it down really well, but it does not brake in time for these corners. Nearly as quick as the Hirochi Sunburst does. You just really got to mentally brace yourself for how fast this car's going. I think that's just part of sim racing, is the sense of speed is always different in every game, and it's really hard to just feel without that actually, the inertia pushing against you. So I think if you could just really tone it down, learn to go 7/10 instead of 10/10, I think this car could do pretty well on a rally stage. But yeah, I will definitely have to wait and see how this thing compares to the Sunburst. Go back and check my film. Other than that, I might just do another quick run of the next stage, show you guys some 10/10 moments if I can make it happen. Other than that, I'm actually not too upset with how this car's done. I quite like it. When it comes to the question, can I build a faster rally car than the Beam devs? I'm not sure if I've succeeded or not. I mean, looking at the splits, the Sunburst did finish the stage quicker, but the G5 was behind by less than 3 seconds after I had spun and ran it into a wall twice. I mean, in the right hands, the G5 is quicker, but the fact that it takes a skilled driver means the Sunburst is really just that good of a car. And hey, if you made it to the end, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. I absolutely plan on videos coming out a lot more regularly. Have a good one.